time for Scott Van Pelt's One Big Thing. One Big Thing. On ESPN Radio and ESPNRadio.com.
SVP and Marcillo on ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. It's Scott and Ryan with you. Hour 3, we will revisit Monday's headlines on Monday and take inventory of my winners. Tragedy. Just tragedy. Country music. Play it. This is Garth Brooks. But on Saturday night on the field, it was 93,000 plus, the most they've ever had in Tiger Stadium. And they play this song, and there's a video, and there's swamps, and there's people, and there's pictures of Les Miles. And I was told by one of the equipment guys down there that that's Les's favorite part of the day. Like, watch Les when this is going on. So I'm trying to watch Les, but I'm trying to watch the people. And when 93,000 people yell that Louisiana bit, and then they sing every bit of it, and then the band plays, ba, 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 da. You love that part, too.
I do.
Everything they do is orchestrated. Everything they do's got some kind of hand motion and yelling. A lot of it's profane, and then maybe that bums some folks out, but I thought it was awesome. And let me make one thing clear. I got asked this a lot by my Madison people. Madison, Wisconsin. You guys know my affinity for you. I'm not like I'm stepping out on you. I've said yours is the best college town. I don't change how I feel, but I'm going to say this. For 3 hours on Saturday night, I don't know that there's ever been an atmosphere in sports that I've been a part of that was as memorable to me. I had no dog in the fight. I mean, look, I've been to games where I watched Maryland win a national championship. That was very personal to me. It makes me think of my dad who left us too soon. And I've been to Redskin games where I had everything invested as a kid rooting for my team. I had nothing but being a sports fan on the line on Saturday night. And I've never seen something that felt like that or heard anything that was as sustained as that. My Spencer Hall, my friend that writes for Every Day Should Be Saturday and Sports SB Nation, among others, he's got the gold standard definition of this, the 2007 game story he wrote that we quoted the other day, and he was right. Everything I saw about it, the fact that it's the stuff they eat. I don't know what boudin is, but I want some now. They fry everything. I think when they brush their teeth at night, they don't put the toothpaste on and put water on. I think they pour bourbon on it just to get it wet. The people were hospitable to us. I understand folks in the SEC, maybe they're not always so kind to you when you show up to Red Stick, as they call it, but they were awesome to us. And as I said to you earlier, Ryan, to me, if you see a movie or you read a book or you see something that lingers with you afterwards, that's how you know it was great. What we saw Saturday night is something that won't soon leave me, just because I felt so incredibly fortunate to be there on a night where they were playing with their pride on the line after what happened to them in the title game. They wanted to prove a point to Alabama, and they did all of that, and they lost. And I don't know how you get past that. I think it's going to be incredibly tough to move on from it, but everything that was part of the experience I was told was going to be awesome. It was better than I was told it was. There's a guy down there that would know. I saw a text today that says that's the best that stadium's ever been. If it is, then I count myself as fortunate that I was there. I got a zillion videos I took just so I can remember what it sounded like in my ears. Y'all did it as good as it can be done, and you didn't win. But it didn't mean that you didn't win in a way, because that environment is just, there's nothing beyond it. There's nothing I would put ahead of that I've ever seen in any sport.
When you're there, you don't want to miss anything. You know what I mean? When you're standing in the sidelines, you're looking into the corners, and everybody's out there at the beginning, and you're feeling like, all right, am I getting it all? Am I getting it all? There was a tension to that game that was different, though, than a year ago. And I was in Tuscaloosa for the overtime game where LSU went in there and won. I still feel like because LSU fans, for the most part, accepted the fact that they were big underdogs and not many people were picking them, that losing, as gutting as it was over that 43-second drive, that they still had never gone into it expecting to lose. And now they're a two-loss team and not part of the national championship picture. For the most part, they weren't before it. So there was a different kind of loss. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Where you weren't, I don't think you'd be as depressed from that loss as you would have been if you had 0 losses in that game.
I'd rather lose by 55 points than lose like that. Because they were the better team. Saban said it afterwards. They did every single thing they could do, and it wasn't enough, because in the end, McCarron pulled a rabbit out of a hat and was fantastic. He was fantastic in that last drive, and full credit to them for doing it. But I mean, just in terms of the vibe and what it was, man, it is seared on my brain, and I will remember it incredibly fondly and just feel like I was lucky to see an atmosphere where it meant that much, and it was played at that kind of a level. And you can spare me your sarcasm for people all around the country. They're going to tell me whatever you want to tell me about. They don't score this or that. Go there once, and then talk. If you haven't been, no talkie. SVP and Russillo on ESPN Radio, ESPNradio.com, and ESPN News. You can get in touch at SVP and Russillo on Twitter, SVP and Russillo at ESPNradio.com. Let's yell at each other more about Notre Dame.
Fine.
I think I'd put them 4 for sure. I'm not saying they're beneath anybody else. Earlier, Ryan and I got back and forth, and I praised them mightily after they beat Oklahoma because they deserved it. And as I watch, all I would say is that, yeah, their schedule, and this is the thing I don't get. Brad Edwards says Notre Dame's schedule is going to hurt it. I guess it's because in these next couple of weeks they play a Boston College team that they're going to be favored to beat by 1 million in Wake Forest. That's going to hurt them. And now USC's got those 3 losses, so that won't be a great resume win, which is they'll still maybe be an underdog. I just want to make sure that we're not misunderstanding one another. Like, to be down 20-6 at Pitt, that's not a great look. They still won, and that's what great teams do. It's just as I watched them struggling in that game, I'm thinking, would the teams that they want to compare themselves to struggle in the same spot? I think that's a fair question to ask.
It is a fair question, but what do you want? Credit for praising them because they won against Oklahoma?
No.
What choice did you have to praise them?
No. You got on me. You're saying it's fairly evident that you don't like them. My animosity towards them is because of their old coach, and because when you point out that they haven't won a bunch of bowl games in the last 15 years, it's true, and people still are mad at you. They matter this year. They're relevant this year, and they've earned all of that. So I don't apologize for what I used to think about them, but I see them right in the same discussion now.
I don't know that it's the past tense, though. I just think you think this team. I'm not going to tell you that they're better than K-State, Alabama, or Oregon.
Okay. But
they deserve to be where they're at number 4. I don't think there's any argument to that whatsoever.
And I'm not arguing that.
And you saying the fan base gets mad. What fan base gets psyched when you point out where they're wrong, right?
That's a great point.
Hey,
that's a great point.
Continue to criticize us with accurate facts, Mr. Van Pelt. We enjoy it over here.
Mitch Hedberg weighing in.
So
that's fair.
What I'm saying is I'll just go back to the sideline. Like, I couldn't believe. I walk into the sideline section there at LSU. We're all looking at our broken phones. You turn to me, you go, what happened to Notre Dame game? I go, they won triple overtime. And you go, they stink. And I go, you know what? They don't stink. So that's where this is coming from.
Okay.
And I know we don't really do this.
That's fair. That's fair.
And maybe I'm being unfair to do that to you on the air here a little bit, but that's where I'm coming from. Because I think deep down, you want to kind of pretend you're being fair about it. And you don't even like having to be fair because you know you have to, because whatever you say, they're still 9-0 and 4th in the BCS.
When I said they stink, I thought they stunk the other day. I thought you're not supposed to be down 20-6 at home against Pittsburgh. They won, and bully for them. They don't stink, for the record.
I know you don't really actually think they stink.
Thank you for making that distinction. I don't believe that they're as good as Alabama. I don't believe they're as good as Oregon. But this is things will have a way of sorting themselves out. But
look, we didn't think they could go into Norman with that offense and beat the Sooners.
They were phenomenal in that game.
Saturday night scored 30, held them to just 1 touchdown, 13 points overall. So none of us would go, hey, they beat Oregon. None of us would say they're going to beat Bama. Most people would say they couldn't beat K-State.